chess science lab, and today I'm going to show some very instructive ideas. Okay, like how to use the knight. Okay, so we are going to study the geometric patterns and the range of the knight. Okay, so in general, you would have heard about the knight. The knight can jump 8 squares if it's placed in the center of the board. Okay, and you can see this position also. Like there are two knights. Okay, so the possible jumps could be 16 squares, right? Maximum. Okay, and that too if it's placed on the center. If it's in corner, we can reduce some squares. Okay, so in this case, you can see two knights fighting against the rook. Okay, two knights fighting against the rook. The rook can always go more faster from files to rank. Okay, and if the two knights wants to really catch the rook, then the range of the knight should be more powerful. And I'm going to show you a science like how to make your knight even more powerful. Okay, there are few methods. Okay, if you analyze through science, you will come to know more ideas. Okay, so I'm here to help you today. Okay, you can first have a look at this position. Okay, so this rook is placed on g7. So let's analyze the rook's mobility. So the rook has a couple of moves here, right? So it can go here. Some range is there. Okay, not much range, but some range is there. But right now, the knight is attacked. Okay, so if you want to really make your knight powerful, you have to remember this idea. Okay, so you have to place your knight in such a way where it can connect to the king, and minimum there is two connecting points needed. Okay, if you have two connecting points, then it's more stronger. Okay, let's say if I place the knight something like a6, it's not strong. Okay, this is not a good move, but I'm just demonstrating it because this knight has only one connecting line. It can connect via c5. There's only one connecting line. Okay, so you cannot expect much power from the knight. Okay, whereas if you play the knight to b5, well, there are two connecting lines. The c3, you can connect the king via c3 and via d6. Okay, so two connecting lines. So you have more chances. So you have to remember this very clearly. You want to attack, you need to find two connecting points. Okay, so in this position, the rook has few squares to go, right? So we want to place the knight and gain tempo. Okay, so what we can do is we can place the knight to e8. Why e8? Because the knight attacks the rook. And how many connecting lines are there currently? You can analyze and you will find two. Right, the knight can go to d6 and f6 and it can connect to the king. Okay, so this is there, right? Two connecting lines. If you have two connecting lines, then it's going to be more stronger. Now we'll see the direct control and the indirect control. Okay, the direct control is like the squares where the knight can attack directly. That is, let's say, c7, d6, g7. Okay, indirect control is, you see, once from the connecting line. Let's say if it jumps to d6, it can control these squares technically. Okay, from d6 we can take control over the c4, b5 and b7, c8, f7. Okay, so these many squares. So see, that's why this square is very important. Okay, so once you connect there, you are going to cover the other squares like c8, b7, c4, b5, f5. So this is a very strong connecting line. So we can take it as a technical level. Okay, so knight has to jump there. That is a technical bounce. So if the knight goes to d6, we have indirect control over these many squares. So the range is more high. And it's the same case with the f6 also. Now let's observe the f6. From f6, it can connect the king. Not only that, it can also take control over the g8, h7, g4, d5, d7. If you could imagine the knight coming there, it's going to take these many squares. Okay, so f6 is the strong foundation. Okay, from there it can connect. Likewise, d6 is the strong foundation. From there it can catch these many squares. So there is direct catch and indirect ones. Okay, so if you observe this, you can see the knight has more power. It's not only about 8 squares if the knight is in general. If you have these kind of technical bounce level, you can make it more stronger, right? It can take even more lot of squares. Okay, so you can see that. Okay, let's think about the other knight. The other knight is okay. It's not able to connect to the king right now, but it is just giving the normal control, and that's fine. That knight can only perform that much. It's okay. Anyway, its contribution is there. So you see, now if you observe, you can see a lot of squares in the board is already in control of these knights. Okay, because if the rook goes to h7, there's a technical bounce, knight goes to f6, because that's a connecting line, knight f6, and knight will take on h7. If the rook goes to g8, knight will again come to f6, connecting the king, and it will take. Okay, I'll show you one by one. So let's say if they play here, you see two connecting lines are there. So you can take this, and the rook is gone, right? Let's say they play rook to g8, and then same, we can take. Okay, if they come here, we can use the other connecting line, so the knight can jump to d6, and it can capture. Same thing with b7, because there's another connecting line here, right? Basically two connecting lines. So two connecting lines means it's valid. Okay, you can make the pieces more powerful. Okay, this is the science behind this. Okay, and normally they won't be able to play c7 because direct hit. Okay, no control. Okay, directly you can hit that. So technically, if you want to hit, you have to like make the rook to come somewhere there, and then knight d6 works. Okay, so you can see the knight's range is so powerful now because the other knight is covering these squares, right? So they won't be able to get there. Okay, okay. So now you can see the rook has to go to a square where it cannot be attacked. So I think rook g5. Okay, so rook went to g5, and then this h5 is still in your range because f6 is the connecting line. From there, this is still under your control, right? So what you can do, the rook won't be able to go to h5 anyway, so you can go pawn to h4. Okay, if they take, and then you can play knight to f6. Okay, still it's in your range. And let's say if they go rook to g4, you can see knight goes to f6. Not difficult to spot, right? Okay, so h4, I think it's over. You see, so there are so many ideas you can learn through science. Okay, long back I used to try to learn these kind of patterns. Like I used to analyze the Troitsky's uh, puzzles. Even this is a Troitsky's puzzle. Okay, and then the problem was like we try different moves, and we analyze, we put more stress, and some days we remember, and after some time we don't even remember. Okay, because that's because we don't learn with science. That is the thing. So we have to be more clear with the science. Okay, so you can use science to your advantage. Okay, and we will see a lot of ideas like how you can improve with science. Okay, so if you had learn something very instructive, and if you find it very useful, you can subscribe to us. Okay, and you can feel free to share your comments, and I can help you. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.